Hi everyone, this is Cheryl and welcome to my sewing room. I'm going to demonstrate how to make this really cute bathing suit beach towel cover-up. This is a super easy project. You can do it in an afternoon. You have the option of putting the elastic waist in or leaving it out. So let's get started. You'll need the following supplies. 1 beach towel. This is the beach towel that I used. It's 30 inches by 64 inches. And if you want your beach cover-up top to be longer, then of course look for a longer beach towel. This one I purchased at Walmart and it was $8.96, so really reasonably priced. If you want the waist put in it, the elastic waist, you'll need 1 inch wide bias tape and then of course 1/2 inch wide elastic. And for the neckline, I used 1/2 inch bias tape. First step is to fold the beach towel in half and lining up the edges. Now your first fold was going from top to bottom. Now you're going to fold it half again, going side to side. Place a pin right on that center fold and unfold it once to where you see the pin exposed there. And place the 4-inch line right where that pin is. And go out 4 inches this way and put a mark, and 4 inches this way and put a mark. Then put the 1-inch line, put the edge of your ruler along that fold and then go down this way 1 inch and put a mark. Now you're going to connect the dots. Just go down towards that 1-inch mark and back up over here to this mark. Now here is my center mark I had in the back. Put the 5-inch line on there and put a mark down here. Okay. Now I'm just going to draw a gentle curve around here. So just lightly bring it around. And then go ahead and cut it out. After you've cut it out, make sure you try it on to see if it gets over your head easily. Now mine did. I didn't make a really scooped neck for me because I burn easily, so I don't want a whole lot of my skin exposed, but you may want a deeper neckline. So make adjustments accordingly. Do a machine basting stitch around the neckline about 1/8 of an inch away. This will prevent the neckline from stretching while you're trying to put the bias tape on. Starting in the back center of the neckline, you're going to begin stitching the bias tape on. So place one end near the center and go in a couple of inches before you start stitching. And a suggestion for putting this on because bias tape can be a little tricky. And I find it's easier to stitch one side of the bias tape on, then fold it over and stitch the other side on. So put the center of the bias tape on the back side along the edge here. And like I said, go in a couple of inches and begin stitching close to this edge. Now I don't pin this bias tape on. I stitch a little bit, keep lining it up, stitching a little bit until you get all the way around. Then when you get a few inches away, then take it out of your machine, overlap the bias tape about 1/2 an inch, and then cut the excess off. Then you're going to then bring the 2 ends together and bring front sides together. So you might have to fold the beach towel a little bit. Bring it in and stitch about 1/4 of an inch across there. After stitching this, then finger press this seam open and then finish stitching it across here. Now turn the towel over to the front, fold the bias tape over, and then stitch along this edge. And here is your neckline. Next step is to measure your body, where you want the waistline to fall. Now, if you don't want a waistline in this top, you just want it to be really baggy, you could skip this step. But if you want the waistline, place a tape measure at the top of your shoulder and go down over your breast and decide where you want the waistline to fall. I'm going to put mine at around 15 inches. Everyone's going to be different, so make sure you measure exactly where you want it for your body. Have the back side facing up and have it folded in half. So this is the shoulder area up here. Take your tape measure, place it on one side of the neckline, and then mark where you want that waistline to go. Then go over on the other side of the shoulder area and do the same thing. Turn it over to the other side and mark the back of the towel where you want the waistline to be. I'm using 1 inch wide bias tape as the casing for the elastic. So when you're purchasing the bias tape in your elastic, make sure that your elastic will easily fit on the inside of this. And since this is 1/2 inch elastic, this is wide inch bias tape, it's going to work out just fine. Lay your bias tape out across the beach towel, and you're going to cut 2 pieces that is 1 inch wider than the towel on each side. So you're going to have 1 inch hanging over on each side. Here is my mark here that I put on the towel. Take the bias tape and you're going to bring this edge right up here against that mark and spread it straight across. Then go ahead and place pins to hold this down. Fold it in half again and make sure that the casing is in the same place on the front and the back. To stitch the casing on, you want to come in several inches from the side over here and stitch along this top edge of the casing. And when you get to the other side, you want to also stop a few inches away from this edge. So it's going to look like this when you're done. You're going to leave this part unstitched for now. We'll close it up later. When you go to stitch on the lower part, here, let me push this down some more, the other edge of the casing, you're going to leave a little opening here that you don't stitch across. So you're going to stop somewhere in here, leaving this opening. And this is how you're doing it on the very back of your beach cover-up. On the front, when you stitch it on, don't leave an opening. Just stitch across both edges all the way across, except again, stop a couple of inches from each side. Fold the towel in half again and make sure everything's lined up now, because the next step is to stitch the side seams. So once you've got it folded, move your bias tape out of the way so that you don't stitch it into your side seam. Now you want to decide how big you want your armhole. Here's the shoulders up here. So I'm going to leave about a 9-inch armhole. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because I want it big and roomy. So I'm going to put a pin there. Continue pinning all the way down. And then if you want to leave a side slit, then determine how many inches you want that. And I want it to be about 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's my pins. Put a pin there. Continue pinning across. And then you're going to stitch real close to where this fabric is folded right in here. Stitch all the way across. Then go ahead and do the other side. Last step is to finish up the casing. Well, it's next to the last step. So you're going to open this seam up and fold it back up out of the way so that you can determine how much of this you need to cut off. So make sure you leave enough to stitch it together. So I cut mine to where it was about a 1/2 inch longer than the side. Then you're going to bring these two edges together. Going to have to push that beach towel out of the way. Bring the two edges together, front sides. So you're going to have to twist it a little bit. Stitch across the end here. Then when you're done, go ahead and stitch up the casing along the sides there. Take your elastic and wrap it around your waist where this is going to be falling at, and cut it a couple of inches shorter than what that measurement is. Then on one end of it, put a safety pin, and you're going to insert it into the casing and push it through all the way around. Then you're going to take the two ends of your elastic, take the pin off, stitch the two ends together, insert the elastic back inside, and finish stitching the casing closed. And then you're done. For more clothing projects, go to the very end of this video where you'll see a green screen and click on the links. If you enjoyed this video, please click on thumbs up. Also, click on share to share this video with your friends. And if you haven't subscribed yet, click on that red subscribe button down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Don't forget to enter your email address and click on that little bell notification so that you receive emails about my latest video. I'm Cheryl. I'm so glad you came to my sewing room. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing!